How do you know where they're coming from? What can you do to stop them? Brian Bowersock of West Escondido Auto joins us. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning.
Great to see you again.
Glad to be here as usual.
All right, so fluid leaks. Your car is running. You've got fluid coming down. What's the main problem that could happen if you have a fluid leak and don't do anything about it?
Well, obviously, the worst case scenario is running the vehicle out of fluid, either engine oil, transmission, power steering. It damages components and can become quite costly.
How do you know? Because sometimes it's obvious that you've got below your car, you've got fluid draining out there, but sometimes it might not be as obvious too. How do you know that you're having a fluid leak?
Well, typically whoever's servicing your vehicle should be keeping an eye. If they start seeing obviously wet areas on a vehicle, it could become the beginning of a problem that could get quite a bit bigger. It's often hard to tell where a vehicle's leaking from. We have all these different fluids on a vehicle, from transmission, the power steering, to engine oil, differential fluids, things like that. So you have to be really cognizant, whoever's looking at the vehicle, about finding the leak and obviously recommending the correct repair. And
in finding the leak, once you do, a thing that could help you to pinpoint it exactly, you say, is dye.
We actually use a dye system. It's the correct way to do it. You can often have a vehicle that has a small seep or a bigger leak. They kind of combine together, and it's more difficult to tell where it's coming from. If you actually clean all the affected areas and you put the dye in the type of oil that you're having a problem with, such as engine oil, run the vehicle. Possibly you may have to drive the vehicle a little bit. Sometimes we'll send a customer out, tell them to come back in 100 miles if it's a smaller leak. We can actually trace it with the black light and find out exactly where it's leaking from, and that way we can recommend the correct repair. And that's how we fix oil leaks. It's the recommended way versus guessing and, well, I think it's coming from here.
How expensive do most oil leak repairs end up running?
They can vary. I mean, you can. We see a lot of cars with simple ones, such as drain plug gaskets, things like that. Obviously, that's very cheap to fix. All the way up to rear main seals, which the transmission has to be removed to the lower part of the engine. So they can get expensive to very, very non-expensive.
And you mentioned before there are so many different types of fluids. We see sitting here some of them. How accurate are the gauges of fluid leaks on your thing? And if on your dashboard something's coming up, do you know you need to get it done right away? Is it a warning?
If you're seeing a problem with an oil pressure gauge or light or something like that coming on, it's already time to worry about it right now. Usually having a leak, as long as you have plenty of fluid, you're not going to get an indication on the dashboard for the driver.
All right, and anything else need to know about fluid leaks?
It's just very important to, obviously, if it's a bigger leak, explaining to who you take the vehicle to. It happens how you park the vehicle. Does it happen more at night? Are you seeing smoke from the vehicle when it's running? Certain things like that can often help whoever's servicing your vehicle track down exactly what's leaking. So therefore, they can give you an accurate estimate, when you're not spending money on things that don't need to be done.
And of course, you can always get great service at West Escondido Auto.
Absolutely.
Just ask for Brian. Great to see you as
Good
always.
To see you.
If you have a car question for Brian, you can drop him an email. The link to his website is on our website. That's san diego6.com. Just click on Hot Topics.